The world breathed differently then. Mist clung to the valleys, and the spirits walked freely. Kitsune, fox spirits, were not merely animals, but messengers, guardians, and whispers of the divine. Among them was Kiko, her fur the color of a winter moon, her eyes holding the wisdom of centuries. She felt a shift in the balance, a growing unease in the human realm, a yearning for something more. A forgotten power stirred. The people of Yamato lived a life bound to the seasons, their survival a constant negotiation with nature. They prayed to countless kami, spirits inhabiting rivers, mountains, and trees. But their pleas often went unanswered. The harvests were unpredictable, the storms relentless. Hope was a fragile thing, easily crushed under the weight of hardship. Yet, a deep-seated faith persisted, a belief in unseen forces that governed their fate. Kiko watched him, her heart aching for his struggle. Humanity had forgotten the ancient pact, the respect for the natural world. Their offerings were hollow, their prayers lacking sincerity. She felt compelled to intervene, to guide them back to the old ways, to remind them of the power that resided within the earth, within the very essence of life. A spark of divinity flickered within her. Her power was immense, drawn from the moon's silver light and the earth's hidden energies. She could weave illusions, command the winds, and shapeshift at will. But her true strength lay in her ability to connect with the human heart, to awaken the dormant spirit within. The time for subtle influence was over. A bolder path lay ahead. A vision flooded Kiko's mind, a village consumed by despair, its people weakened by famine and disease. The kami were silent, the land barren. A shadow had fallen upon the land, a darkness born of neglect and disrespect. She saw the suffering, felt the pain of the villagers, and knew she could not stand idly by. A decision was made. With a surge of power, Kiko began to transform. Her fur receded, her limbs elongated, and her form coalesced into something more human. Yet, the essence of the fox remained, woven into her very being. She was no longer just a spirit, she was a bridge between worlds, a vessel for divine intervention. She was becoming something new. She appeared in the village square, a figure both strange and beautiful. Her presence was unsettling, yet undeniably powerful. The villagers, hardened by hardship, stared at her with a mixture of fear and awe. Some whispered of demons, others of blessings. Their fate hung in the balance, dependent on the intentions of this enigmatic being. Kiko raised her hands, and a wave of warmth washed over the village. A soft, golden light emanated from her palms, bathing the weary faces of the villagers. The air seemed to shimmer with renewed energy. A sense of hope, dormant for so long, began to stir within their hearts. The first act of grace. An old woman, her face etched with wrinkles and sorrow, stepped forward. With trembling hands, she offered Kiko a single, withered flower. It was a meager offering, but it was filled with gratitude. Kiko met her gaze, her eyes filled with compassion. In that moment, a connection was forged, a spark of understanding between spirit and mortal. Kiko smiled, a gentle curve of her lips hinting at the fox spirit within. The villagers, witnessing this act of kindness, began to murmur amongst themselves. A new belief was taking root, a faith in a goddess who understood their suffering. The whispers started, Inari, the fox god, the dawn of a new era. The boy's touch brushed against the warmth, a gasp escaping his lips. He looked at Kiko with newfound reverence, the despair in his young eyes momentarily replaced by awe. The golden light intensified, weaving itself into the fabric of the village, chasing away the shadows that clung to the crumbling walls. A collective breath was held, a silent prayer offered to the spirit who had arrived. The air crackled with unseen energy, a promise of brighter days. But not all were convinced. Elder Rowan, his face a mask of suspicion, stepped forward. His voice, rough with years of hardship, cut through the murmurs. "What is this magic? What do you truly want?" he demanded, his gaze fixed on Kiko. Doubt lingered in the eyes of some villagers, the old wounds of betrayal refusing to heal easily. Kiko met his gaze unflinchingly, her expression serene, a hint of sadness flickering within her eyes. Kiko spoke, her voice soft yet firm. "I come to heal, to mend what is broken. The land suffers, and so do you. I offer not power, but solace. I offer not control, but hope." Her words resonated with a quiet strength, slowly chipping away at the elder's skepticism. The golden light pulsed gently, a visual representation of her sincerity. The villagers watched, their faces a mixture of hope and apprehension. Unseen, a figure watched from the edge of the village. Cloaked in darkness, their face obscured by shadows, they observed Kiko with an unsettling intensity. A flicker of malice danced in their unseen eyes. They had been waiting for this moment, for the arrival of the fox spirit. A plan, carefully crafted over years, was about to unfold. The shadows seemed to deepen around them, a silent promise of trouble. The withered flower in the old woman's hand trembled, and then, miraculously, began to bloom. A single, vibrant petal unfurled, a splash of color against the gray backdrop of the village. A collective gasp rose from the crowd, a tangible manifestation of the hope that Kiko had ignited. It was a small miracle, but it spoke volumes about the power of belief. The air filled with the sweet scent of blossoms, a promise of renewal. Elder Rowan remained unmoved. "Words are wind, spirit. Show us true healing. Show us life in our barren fields, water in our dried well." He gestured towards the parched earth, the cracked riverbed. His words were a challenge, a demand for tangible proof. The golden light seemed to dim slightly, reflecting the weight of his doubt. Kiko's expression tightened, a shadow crossing her face. Kiko closed her eyes, focusing her energy. The golden light intensified, flowing from her hands towards the barren fields. The earth trembled slightly, and a faint green shimmered across the cracked soil. A collective murmur of anticipation rippled through the crowd. The air grew heavy with the scent of damp earth, a promise of rain. It was a delicate process, requiring immense concentration. But as Kiko poured her energy into the land, a sudden gust of wind swept through the village. A portion of the golden light flickered and died, leaving a patch of darkness in its wake. A ripple of fear ran through the crowd. The shadowy figure watched, a subtle smile playing on their lips. The wind seemed unnatural, as if guided by an unseen hand. Kiko gritted her teeth, fighting to maintain her focus. The wind buffeted her, attempting to extinguish the light within her. She strained, her brow furrowed in concentration. The effort was immense, draining her strength. The golden light pulsed erratically, threatening to fade completely. She knew something was interfering, something powerful and malevolent. Kiko's eyes snapped open, and she saw him, the figure lurking in the shadows. A wave of understanding washed over her. This was no natural wind. This was a deliberate act of sabotage. Her gaze locked onto his, a spark of defiance igniting within her. She knew the source of the disruption, and she knew what she had to do. The battle had begun. The figure glided forward, an unnatural stillness amidst the chaotic wind. Its red eyes burned with cold intent. Kiko felt a surge of dread, the effort to maintain the light faltering. This being was drawing strength from the disruption, feeding on the fear. The golden light dimmed further, shrinking back. A desperate plea formed in Kiko's mind, a silent call for help. The figure extended a skeletal hand. Kiko focused, drawing on the last reserves of her energy. Memories flooded her mind, her grandmother's teachings, the ancient rituals, the connection to the land. She visualized the roots, the soil, the life force flowing through everything. A small spark of golden light rekindled within her, a fragile ember in the encroaching darkness. She pushed back against the figure's influence. The village was shrouded in an unsettling twilight. The golden glow, once a beacon of hope, was now a mere flicker. Fear permeated the air, thick and suffocating. Whispers spread amongst the villagers, their faces etched with worry. They looked to Kiko, their savior, struggling against an unseen enemy. Hope seemed to dwindle with each passing moment. The figure lunged, its shadowy hand reaching for Kiko. A chilling gust of wind threatened to tear her from the ground. The air crackled with dark energy. Kiko instinctively recoiled, narrowly avoiding the touch. The impact sent a tremor through the earth, shaking the foundations of the village. She knew she couldn't defeat him with brute force. Kiko closed her eyes, seeking a deeper connection. She delved into the heart of the land, searching for a source of strength. She pictured the ancient trees, the flowing rivers, the hidden springs. A sense of calm washed over her, replacing the fear with a profound understanding. The land was not just a source of power, it was a living entity. A surge of emerald energy erupted from Kiko, a vibrant counterpoint to the encroaching darkness. It pushed back against the figure's influence, creating a shimmering barrier. The wind shifted, swirling around Kiko, protecting her from the shadowy assault. The villagers watched in awe as the light returned, stronger than before. The figure staggered back, momentarily stunned by the unexpected surge of energy. Its red eyes narrowed with fury. The dark particles swirling around it began to dissipate. Kiko seized the opportunity, focusing her power. The green light intensified, enveloping the village in a protective shield. The villagers dared to breathe again. Kiko met the figure's gaze, her eyes blazing with newfound determination. She stood firm, a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. The emerald light pulsed around her, a symbol of resilience and strength. The figure snarled, its form flickering and unstable. The battle was far from over, but Kiko had gained the upper hand. With a final, frustrated snarl, the figure retreated back into the shadows. The wind subsided, and the oppressive atmosphere began to lift. But Kiko knew this was not the end. The figure would return, and she would be ready. The village was safe, for now. A heavy silence fell. Kiko watched the shadows recede, a deep worry etched on her face. She knew the figure wouldn't stay hidden for long. The balance had been disrupted, and the darkness would seek to reclaim its power. She turned to the villagers, a silent promise in her eyes. The fight was just beginning. The air hung heavy with unspoken anxieties. Kiko scanned the forest's edge, the lingering scent of shadow still clinging to the breeze. She felt the weight of responsibility, the silent hopes of her people resting on her shoulders. The emerald glow intensified, a fragile shield against the encroaching darkness, a promise whispered on the wind. She knew vigilance was paramount, every shadow a potential threat. The village needed more than just safety, it needed strength. Old Man Hemlock shuffled forward, his staff tapping rhythmically on the cobblestones. His eyes, though aged, held a sharp intelligence. The figure, it felt different this time. Kiko, he rasped, his voice barely audible above the rustling leaves. Stronger. More focused. He paused, gazing into the darkening woods. This isn't just a random haunting. Something is drawing it here. He leaned heavily on his staff, his concern palpable. The village relied on his wisdom. A tremor ran through Kiko's resolve. The elder's words resonated with a chilling truth. She wiped the tear away, refusing to succumb to despair. The emerald light pulsed faster, mirroring the frantic beat of her heart. This wasn't simply about protecting the village, it was about understanding the source of this growing darkness. She had to find answers, unravel the mystery before it consumed them all. Her commitment was unwavering. Kiko ascended the small rise, her voice carrying across the worried villagers. We must prepare, she announced, her tone steady. The figure will return. We will reinforce the wards, double our patrols. Fear will only feed the shadows. We stand together, united in our resolve. A ripple of hope spread through the crowd, a fragile counterpoint to the underlying anxiety. She needed their strength. A flurry of activity erupted as the villagers sprang into action. They worked with a practiced efficiency, reinforcing the ancient wards that protected their home. Their voices rose in a rhythmic chant, ancient verses designed to repel dark energies. The air crackled with energy as the wards strengthened, a visible barrier against the unseen. Each villager played their part. Kiko and Hemlock pored over the ancient map, its parchment brittle with age. Strange symbols adorned the forest's edge, marking locations long forgotten. These markings, they speak of a nexus point, Hemlock murmured, tracing a finger across the map. A place where the veil between worlds is thin. The figure, it might be drawn to that place. Kiko felt a surge of urgency. The map offered a potential lead. Under the cloak of twilight, Kiko led a small band of villagers into the forest. Torches cast dancing shadows, illuminating the path ahead. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, sent a jolt of apprehension through them. The air grew colder, the darkness more oppressive. They pressed onward, determined to uncover the truth. The forest held its breath. They emerged into a clearing bathed in an unnatural glow. A swirling vortex of dark energy pulsed in the center, distorting the surrounding air. The very ground seemed to vibrate with malevolent power. The air tasted of ash and decay. This was the nexus point, the source of the figure's strength. Kiko felt a wave of dread wash over her. From the heart of the vortex, a figure coalesced, its form now fully revealed. It was tall and gaunt, wreathed in shadows, its eyes burning with cold fire. A low growl emanated from its throat, a sound that seemed to chill the very bones. It regarded Kiko and her companions with an expression of cruel amusement. The battle was inevitable. Kiko raised her hands, the emerald light erupting in a blinding flash. The battle commenced. Shadows clashed with light, staffs met darkness. The villagers fought with courage and desperation, protecting Kiko as she engaged the figure. The vortex pulsed with dark energy, feeding the creature's power. The fate of the village hung in the balance. The villagers' hope surged through Kiko, a wave of pure energy. She focused, the emerald light intensifying, a beacon against the encroaching darkness. The figure staggered, its form flickering. A guttural roar escaped, laced with frustration and pain. The vortex began to shrink, its malevolent pulse weakening. The air cleared slightly, the taste of ash fading. Kiko held the beam steady, unwavering. The fate of the village hung in the balance, resting on this final act of defiance. The shadows writhed, desperate to escape the light. With a desperate surge, the figure unleashed a torrent of dark energy, a swirling vortex of shadows aimed at Kiko. The villagers instinctively raised shields, their bodies absorbing the brunt of the attack. Screams echoed through the clearing as the darkness collided with their defenses. Kiko cried out, struggling to maintain her focus. The emerald light flickered, threatened by the overwhelming force. But the villagers held firm, their combined strength a bulwark against the encroaching night. They would not let her fall. A surge of power coursed through Kiko, a feeling of unity and strength. She merged with the emerald light, becoming one with the village's collective life force. The light intensified, radiating outwards, enveloping the clearing. The shadowy figure screamed, a sound of pure agony, as its form began to unravel. Shadows dissipated, revealing nothing but empty space. The vortex collapsed, its dark energy dissipating into the air. The air grew warm, the scent of blossoms replacing the smell of ash. The last vestiges of the shadowy figure dissolved into nothingness, leaving only silence. The emerald light gently faded, leaving Kiko exhausted but unharmed. A wave of cheers erupted from the villagers, their faces illuminated by the returning sunlight. They rushed towards Kiko, embracing her, their gratitude overflowing. The village was safe, their protector victorious. The unnatural glow vanished, replaced by the warm embrace of the sun. Kiko stood surrounded by her village, their faces filled with gratitude and hope. She looked towards the horizon, a sense of peace settling over her. The villagers began to rebuild, their spirits renewed, their bonds strengthened. The clearing slowly returned to normal, the memory of the darkness fading. A new era had begun, an era of unity, resilience, and unwavering hope. The village would thrive, forever grateful to the woman who saved them.